This video is in recognition and appreciation of World Wetland Day. And before I go further, I would like to ask this question. Why is it that in St. Lucia, some people will find it is an easy thing to just throw rubbish in the rivers and in the waterways? They will find it is very easy to get involved in acts of deforestation, especially in the time of when the banana production was green gold. And when the forestry people would warn those people, they would threaten bodily harm. But these same people, when they went to United States of America, they would observe all the laws, all environmental laws and protocols that the Americans set up for them. When they were disposing of their rubbish, they would make sure that they would put plastics in special receptacles. They would put breakables in something separate, and the materials that could decompose, they would put them in something completely separate and different. But these same people, when they were in the country, they were the same ones that were very adamant and resistant against enforcing or doing things that would protect the environment. Now, the other strange thing about it is, when these very people come back to the country on vacation, they would find that everything that we have in the country is not favorable, is not up to standard. And these were the very ones who were polluting our waterways. So what does that tell us? This definitely should make us understand and realize that there is value in enforcing laws as it relates to environmental stewardship. Because those same people that were heavy polluters of our rivers and people who are actively involved in deforestation measures in the country, they are the ones who come back and criticize everything that you do. But when they were here, they were the biggest polluters. So it tells us that there is value in enforcing environmental laws. There is value in enforcing laws and principles and precepts that will strengthen environmental stewardship in the country. So the lessons that we can learn from these behaviors is that it is very important that from the time our people are children, that they are taught environmental stewardship. The value of protecting the environment should be taught, should be reinforced from the time the child is small. So basically, it is something that has to be done from the time you have the children in kindergarten. You have to enforce environmental stewardship. But it's just still amazing, and it is fascinating that even in the year 2022, where you have rubbish trucks practically everywhere in the country, you will still find people just disposing of their rubbish in our ravines and our rivers. And these are some of the things that I have spoken about in some of the videos that I have done. In this modern era, these things are not supposed to be happening. Yet we find, with all the modern technology that we have these rubbish trucks in every community, and the people will still drop dead animals and their waste, their things that will take hundreds of years or thousands of years to degrade. They will just drop them in the waterways. And so it shows that there's a lot of work to be done in terms of environmental stewardship. But one of the things that we really have to do is we have to show the monetary value. We have to show the tangible values as it relates to protecting the environment and environmental stewardship. It is of paramount importance that we do that, especially in light of the whole situation with climate change. So the climate change situation is actually making bad situations worse. So these are some of the things that I just feel like I just wanted to mention in light of the fact that we are in the week of World Wetland Day. So in closing, as it relates to appreciation of the World Wetland Day, these are some of the things that I think we should try to remember and act upon. Number one, we have to give tangible values. We have to give monetary values, numerical values to our wetlands. For example, At every wetland location in the country, we need to have a billboard saying in this area, the land is valued at $1,000 per square foot. In every location, every locality, every wetland, every area that we desire to protect, we need to have billboards showing the monetary value of those places. That's number one. Number two, we must enforce penalty when necessary, because the same people who would pollute the environment and destroy the natural resources indiscriminately when they're here, these very people would go to America and they would follow the environmental standards and protocol, because they know the repercussions. They know that there are penalties for putting bottles even putting bottles in where plastic's supposed to be. They know the ramification. And so it is very important that we enforce the laws as it relates to environmental protection and stewardship in the country. Because the same people who mess around with the environment in this country, they will go to America and other places in Europe and comply. Number three, we need to get young children from the time they're in primary school into environmental groups, but not just that. The environmental group need to be in such a way that the students are actually assigned to specific locations. We have different areas that we're willing to protect and we want to protect. Under the leadership of environmental leaders, the students will need to be assigned to specific sites and locations. And I think that this will help in terms of even spreading the word in terms of the value and the importance of environmental stewardship. And these very students will be the ones who tell their parents that these are the activities that will mess up the environment. Do not do this, do not drop these things in our waters, do not do this and do not do that. So they will appeal to the conscience of the grown-up, but we need to get them involved in environmental stewardship at a very early age. And finally, one of the things that we need to do, we need to get environmental stewardship to be part of the culture of the people. It needs to be part of the culture. So in order for it to be part of the culture, it is something that has to be inculcated in the minds and the hearts of people from the time that they're small. So environmental stewardship, environmental protection needs to be part of the culture of the people. Keep the fire burning.